Hello and welcome to the chaos. And there may be more chaos than usual today. I'm filming first thing in the morning. Well, first thing for me, which is more like 9:30. I know a lot of people get up a lot earlier than that. And my youngest one is still in bed, in my bed, so she may come wandering down that hallway over there at any moment. And I may have to pause the video if that happens. But I have a video to share with you guys today that I have been working on for a while, and I'm excited about it. I've had a lot of fun looking this up. I wanted to share a roundup of free Instagram patterns, but I wanted to give it like a specific theme. I didn't want it to be just, here's some free patterns, aren't they fun? So I went with spring because it's been cold and I'm ready for spring. So I'm making spring in my own house. And as I searched through Instagram for free spring themed patterns, I was really just looking for anything that, like, when I saw it, I was like, yeah, that's springtime. So, like, I've got plant like things, I have birds, I have frogs, I do have a couple of mushrooms on there. I think what else did I have on that list? I made a whole list. Bunnies, um, bugs, just all kinds of things that just to me. Sorry, my dog's tail is hitting my microphone stand. Go away, dog. Like I said, the chaos may be more than usual. I am also sitting on the floor because with my backdrop here, with my yarn stuff, if I sit in a chair and the camera is up at the right height for me sitting in a chair, go away, dogs. Go away, dogs. Then you see all the messy stuff on top, and I wanted to not show you the messy stuff on top. So we're sitting lower so that you just see my pretty colored bins. So dogs may shove their heads in the way because I'm right at their level and they think that means playtime. Anyway, so I wound up finding 34 patterns that I wanted to try that were all like spring themed to me. So I'm not going to try to get through. Sorry about that. Stop. I'm not going to, don't bump my camera, guys. Oh, these dogs. I'm not going to try to get through all 34 of them in one video. I'm going to break it up a little bit. So today's video is going to be the plant themed. So this is, how many did I wind up doing? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 free Instagram patterns, spring themed, plant related. That's this episode. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so the first one I'm going to show you is the Daisy by, I'm going to butcher this, Mishinsy on Instagram. It's Mishinsy. And I will have all of these listed below so that you can find them. And please go and follow these creators, even if you don't plan to make the pattern. Go and take a look at their pages on Instagram and follow them, because even if you don't like this particular pattern, they may have others that you're really into. So please do go check them out. So the Daisy by Mishinsy, and actually I don't have that one in my stack. I left it. It's actually decorating my table. I decided to keep that one. So I'm going to put pause on this for a second. Okay, I'm back. And also, I forgot to mention that for all of these patterns, just to give them all the same like level playing field, I'm doing them all in the Big Twist Posh yarns with a size 5mm crochet hook, so that everything is done the same. So I'm not biased against a pattern because it called for worsted weight, and I don't enjoy working with worsted weight, if that makes sense. So I picked a yarn that I like and a hook size that I like, and that's what I'm going to do them all across the board with, even if maybe they would be better in a different yarn. And I'm not going to judge the pattern based on whether it would be better in a different yarn. I'll just mention it if I think it would be. Okay, so first, Daisy by Mishinsy is this little cutie. Isn't it adorable? I love how floppy it turned out. Now, a couple of things I'll mention that are different from her exact pattern in the stem. Like, she does do it in a worsted weight yarn, so that's number one. And you can see how this would be super cute and tiny in a worsted weight yarn. But I love how floppy and squishy it is in the Big Posh. But in the stem with the worsted weight, she uses floral wire to make it stiff. And I used one of those foam hair curlers from the dollar store because it's bigger, and this turned out to be bigger. So I just found it was the small. It's a pack that has like multiple sizes, so it was the skinniest one in the pack, and it just slid right down in there. And I cut off the excess right at the top of the stem before I attached the flower head. And didn't it turn out adorable? I love this pattern. So it's Daisy by Mackenzie. It turned out super, super cute. And it actually was not very difficult. It does have some sewing. You stitch this little leaf on the side, and in her original pattern, you stitch all of the petals on. And then you stitch the flower core with the petals to the top of the stem there. I did adjust it a little bit as I went because I'm more experienced with patterns and pattern making and crocheting, and I was able to just kind of figure it out on the fly. And so I crocheted these into, I don't remember which round it was, round 17 or 18, maybe. So yeah, I crocheted them in together just to save me a step from sewing, and because I feel like it's a little bit more secure that way than when you sew each individual petal on. So this pattern overall took me an hour and 15 minutes. So it did take some extra time because you're making all these pieces separately. As I was reading the pattern, I think round 17 was probably supposed to be front loop only. It's the round that spreads out into this part. When you switch from the stem to this, it says in the pattern back loop only, but I think it was meant to be front loop only, because that's how it looks in the picture. So that's what I did. I did front loop only, and it turned out just like it was in the picture. Let's see. So the stem itself with the, is this the calyx? I think this is the calyx. Took me 18 minutes. The petals each took me about 6 minutes. So for 5 petals, it was a half an hour to do the petals. The leaf took me 3 minutes. Sewing the center and crocheting the center and then crocheting the petals onto the center took me 15 minutes. And then sewing it and finishing it up took me 8 minutes. So altogether about an hour and 15 minutes. And it was 60 grams of yarn and 1 hair roller, heat curling roller thing. That was the materials used. So overall, I love this pattern. It was easy to follow. It worked up exactly like it was supposed to, and it's adorable. And it's just as adorable in plush yarn as it would be in worsted weight yarn. Would I recommend it for markets? No. It does take some extra time, and for as small as it is, even in plush yarn, I don't think anybody would pay what the price tag I would have to put on it. But I love it, and I'm going to keep it, and it's going to be on my table, and it's going to make me feel all the spring vibes while it's still cold and rainy and yucky outside. So that's number 1. Whew. It took me 8 minutes to do number 1. It's going to take me a while to get through this list. Okay, next is the Lily of the Valley by Rust Bucket Crochet. And I got to figure out which one it is. Since it's all the Big Twist Posh, it's all similar colors. I just have a pile of similar colors in this chair over here. So this is the Lily of the Valley. Isn't it cute? Again, this was one she did in worsted weight yarn, I believe. But I adore this in the plush. I used the light pink strawberry smoothie, I think it is. And then this is the bok choy color. So it's 2 separate pieces. One, like the flowers and the chain is all together. And then the leaves are actually a separate piece that you thread your chain loop through. So you can actually kind of slide these up and down and adjust the size of your loop on top. So I think this would be wonderful as a car hanger, like over your rear view mirror. That might be where I put it. Or like to hang on a doorknob or something somewhere, just as a little extra cheerful thing in your house. It's really cute. Um, so this, let's see, the flowers. This was really simple too. The flowers took 6 minutes each, so I spent 12 minutes just on the flowers. The leaf part, these are both one piece, the two leaves. So it just pinches in the middle, so it looks like two leaves. That took 3 minutes. The chain, it's a chain of 60 and at a minute or less. I mean, super fast. And putting it all together, 2 minutes. So all together, 20 minutes or less. Like super fast pattern. Super fast, super cute. And I could actually see these doing really well at markets. As like I said, car rearview mirror hangers. Like I might make up a whole bunch of these for my upcoming market because they are so precious. Um, it used 26 grams of yarn, so that's nothing. That's nothing. Like you could do this with scrap yarn, and it's so wonderful. Um, so yeah, Rust Bucket Crochet. Go find her Instagram, follow her, check out this pattern. I love it. I'm going to be making more of these. Next, we have, I'm looking down a lot because I've got my notebook with all my stuff in it. So next we have, it didn't have a title, so I'm just calling it Flower Pattern by Keilas Crochets, Keilas .crochets on Instagram. And that was this one. This one. So it's like just a little daisy. Let me just double check and make sure. Yes, it is. It's a little daisy. Very simple, and this is all it is on her thing. Just this very simple little daisy. I could see this being a keychain, a little backpack charm would be super cute. She had pictures in her pattern of it being connected with a cord to a bumblebee and being a little car dangler that way. And honestly, I think that's what I want to do with this one because that's the cutest, seriously the cutest thing I've ever seen. And I may take the leaf pattern from that Lily of the Valley that I just showed you and add that with a bumblebee and make a car hanger because, oh my gosh, so cute. Okay, so this takes 10 minutes or less. Like, this is nothing. And again, scrap yarns. It's like 10 grams of yarn. The center of it, you crochet two of these little yellow discs and then you put them together. So like they were like 2 minutes a piece because it's literally 3 rounds. You go in a circle for 3 rounds. And then the petals, you put the two together and you crochet through all of them. So you crochet the petals on so they're not separate. Took 5 minutes. The directions, I found it somewhat confusing a little bit because it didn't specify that you put the two middles together and then crochet them together. But once I started in on it, it flowed really smoothly. Very, very easy to do. So highly recommend this pattern. Again, this is Keilas Crochets. And I have someone asking me a question, so I'm going to hit pause here. I'll be back with y'all. Okay, I'm back. Apparently, a wasp flew into the rabbit food bucket while my daughter was trying to feed the rabbits, and she is terrified of wasps. So, yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. Okay, so the next one on my list is another one that didn't have a title. I called it a bookmark. It's a mushroom, and it's by Nour Creates or Nour Creates. I'm not sure. It's NOUR__creates on Instagram. And again, I will have all these listed, so you don't have to try to hunt them. I'll put links. So let me grab that. This was another one again that was in worsted weight yarn, so it would have been much smaller and thinner. And like I said, I'm doing all of this in the Big Twist Posh, so it's all the same. So this is what it turned out. I think it's cute. It's cute. It obviously would not work as a bookmark in the Big Twist Posh because it's just much too large. It would do it admirably as a bookmark in the worsted weight. It is very cute. I'm not sure what I'll do with this one in particular. It's a little too heavy to be as a card charm because the leaves are much lighter than the mushroom and it would just do that. So I'm not 100% certain yet what I'm going to actually do with this. I may just stitch the circle together like this so that I have a loop on top and then hang it from something like that. I might do that. Oh, sounds like they lived. So let's see. This one. Now this one did take a little bit longer than some of the other things. The cap and stitching. So you do the cap and then you stitch on the white bits. Took 15 minutes. The stem by itself is a separate piece. Took 8 minutes. The leaf and the little chain that goes with it took me 10 minutes. So altogether about 40 minutes. And yeah, it's cute. It's really cute. I might just reuse the mushroom part for different things. Like this could be a really cute keychain or a backpack charm and just leave off the chain and the leaves. I could see some potential for that as a market make. So it's cute. It's just a simple little mushroom and it's easy to do. So highly recommend. Okay, next. My pile is getting wonky. The houseplant. Okay. This is by Cozy Ducklings with a K. Kozy Ducklings on Instagram. It's a houseplant. And it's adorable. Look at how cute. Now I could have done a lot more little planty bits, but I kind of like it that it looks like hair and you can like flip it around and like change up his hairstyle. Like I don't know. It's pleasing to me. Anyway, so this is the houseplant by Cozy Ducklings. The pot part and the dirt is all one piece, and took me about 25 minutes. And then you crochet in, surface crochet. That's the word I'm looking for. The little leafy bits, and she has two styles of leafy bits. So she's got this, which is the pearl plant, I think is what that's called, with bobble stitches. And I just really like that one. And then she's got one that looks a little bit more like a succulent plant and has sort of wavy, twisty ones. So I did 5 of them. They only take me about a minute each. I mean, I could easily add a ton more of these. So all together, 30 minutes for this little cutie. She did have a smile on hers, but I tend to like my creations without mouths. I don't know. His face kind of reminds me of Groot. Like baby Groot, doesn't it? 15 grams of stuffing went into this, 2 safety eyes, and 30 grams of yarn. So again, all of these are very light on the yarn usage, so you could easily make a ton of these with very little. And I could see this being a super cute market make as well. Especially with that 30-minute time mark, like you could bang out a bunch of these for a market, and then they would be adorable, just all set up on a shelf with their different leaf styles, and maybe do slightly different colors of green or whatever. So that's that one. Cozy Ducklings, the houseplant. Next, we have Mushy Crushy. Now, Mushy Crushy itself is a free pattern on Instagram, and I could have included that one. I've actually made that one many times. It's one of my market favorites. But I wanted to focus on the mods. There are some mods available for it on Instagram. This is the daisy mod. There's a daisy and a sunflower and a bee, I think. So this is the daisy version. So he's completely no-so. He's super cute. And yes, he pops. Which, I mean, who doesn't love a popping toy? Right? He's very cute. So, very simple, completely no-so. Let me see. The one note that I have on this, and this is actually a note that I have for all of these like Instagram mod type patterns, is that it can be frustrating to have to switch between the original mod and the original the original pattern and the mod for the pattern. Because even though I have them both saved in my Instagram, I can't like reorganize them so they're like next to each other. So I'm having to like, I pull up one, go however many steps, and then I have to back out, go find the other one, go however many steps, and then back out, go back to the other one. So it's like a lot of back and forth. I did wind up just using my phone to make a screenshot of the original pattern so that I could just hit the little 3 bars on the bottom of my phone and go from my Photos app to my Instagram app, and I had them both pulled up like that. So that did make it go a little faster. But yeah, that's not specifically this pattern. Don't get me wrong, that has absolutely nothing to do with this pattern. That just has to do with modded patterns on Instagram. I feel like if you make a mod for something that's this different, you could easily just say this is a whole new pattern and just put all the instructions in one. And I feel like it would be as easy to do that as it would be to write in the pattern. Like it's just as easy to write out rows 1 to 2 as it is to say follow rows 1 to 2 in the original pattern except in this color. You know what I mean? But that's a personal gripe. Nothing to do with the pattern. Okay, so this is the Mushy Crushy Daisy mod by Crochet. It's the normal word crochet underscore CROCHEY. No sew. It took 45 grams of yarn, so a little bit more yarn on this guy. He's also a little bit bigger than some of the others. 10 grams of stuffing, safety eyes, 45 minutes total, which is great. Under an hour, to me, that's great for a market make. So yeah, you can make several of these for a market, and I could see them going really well. All right, moving right along, we have an honorable mention. Where did it go? It's so small. This isn't actually like, I mean, it is a pattern. I'm not going to say it's not a pattern. It is a pattern, but it's not like an amigurumi. It's not a whole thing. It's The Tiny Flower by Stitches by Patty. Isn't it cute? I left the tails on because I might actually attach this to something. But just, it's so simple. And like so many of the patterns that you find for little flowers out there are like really complicated, and it's meant to be like a whole flower amigurumi in itself. And this is an accessory. That's what this is. This, you tie this on to any of your plushies and it's automatically got a spring feel. Or put a chain of them together and make a flower crown. Come on. How cute. You could flower crown all the things, and I kind of want to now. Add a chain, a green chain, and a little leaf at the end, and you've got a little bookmark. You know, like there are so many things that you could do with this. It takes less than a minute, and I didn't even weigh it because this is just scrap yarn. I mean, this is nothing. So yeah, find Stitches by Patty. Find this little pattern. It's so easy and cute. Make up a ton of them and just add them to all your plushies, and you got spring plushies. And you can take them off later if they don't sell and it's autumn and you want it to be an autumn plushie. That's my recommendation on that. Okay. Next, we have the Daisy Charm by Jayded Crochet, Jayded. And I cannot tell you how pleased I was with this pattern. It is so cute. Look at this. It's so smooth. The daisy is so clean. Like it's pretty front and back. It is amazing. And then this little chain, I used for this, instead of the bok choy green, I used the Glow Warm. And I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's amazing. Out of all the daisies, and I've done several daisies now, like these simple kind of daisies, this pattern, this petal is my favorite. Look at how smooth and clean that is. It's just so cute. This took 13 grams of yarn, so this is nothing. It took me 15 minutes to make. It's so fast. I will say that in her pattern, she reminds you, she makes mention that at the point that as you're making the center, that there is a row where you're going to be adding these petals because you're gonna surface crochet them, um, and that's like halfway through. So you get out to your full size, and then you're gonna decrease back down for your center. So at that like halfway mark, I think it's for 4, maybe I can't remember. That's where you're going to be surface crocheting these petals. And so she tells you to look, yeah, it's row 4. She tells you to look for where row 3 becomes row 4, and that's the stitch you start in. So I would personally recommend, and what I did as I was making this, is having an extra stitch marker on hand so that when you start row 4, you can leave that stitch marker in place as you continue your rounds. So your working stitch marker can continue to move with you, and then you just have that little extra one marking the stitch where you're going to start the petals. You could also do round 4 as a back loop only row. She doesn't say that in her pattern. I may try that because I feel like then that would give you a more prominent stitch to attach these two. But then again, I have noticed, and maybe this is why she didn't do that. I have noticed sometimes that when you've done a back loop only, and then you've got that front loop to stitch into, that loop tends to pull stretch out, and so it's not as clean of a look. And that may be what she did. That may be why she did that. Sorry, I'm just checking my mic. Y'all know I'm like paranoid about this mic now. So that may actually be why she doesn't do a front loop only. That makes a lot of sense to me right now that I say that. But yes, use your extra stitch marker to mark your place, and you'll save yourself a lot of stress later when you're trying to figure out where you're supposed to put these petals. And it's super cute. Like, it's really cute. So with the loop, this is like for hanging on a rear view mirror or on a doorknob or something. Without the loop, you could just add keychain material and have a little keychain, have a backpack charm. Super fast. I love it. Okay, I think I've only got one more. Where am I? Yes, I have one more. We're on the last one. This is Flower Buddies by Celestial CB Crochet. And I think I have another of her patterns later on in this list too. I can't remember. I think I do. So Flower Buddies by Celestial CB Crochet. Isn't he cute? So precious. Sort of like your little mushy boy, but it's a flower instead of a mushy boy. I didn't put a mouth on him because you know me. I don't normally put mouths on. I may go back and put little cheek blushies on, though. This little guy, I will say, this was the last one of the plant patterns that I made when I was working on making all of these guys. And you can kind of tell that my tension was loosening up. All of the others were fine. But this guy has a little bit of gaping. That's not down to the pattern. That's down to me being too tired. And I should have quit before I got to this point. But he's fine. He's fine. He's cute. And I'm going to put cheek blushies on him for sure. So he took me 30 minutes, which is not bad at all. 10 grams of stuffing, 25 grams of yarn. So, like, none of these really take a whole lot of yarn, which is great. I will say, as with all patterns that use bobble stitches for arms and legs, you may need to adjust your placement of these bobble stitches. I did have to adjust one of my feet by like 1 stitch. So just keep that in mind as you're making it. I will also say that these feet are in a decrease round. It's just your standard like 2 single crochet then decrease pattern, except for it's interrupted by a bobble stitch taking the place of one of the single crochets. So as long as you keep that in mind, you could figure out if you need to move them. Like I had when I got to the second foot, I think it was like decrease, then bobble, then single crochet, and then continue on with the pattern until the end of the round. And I wound up doing decrease, single crochet, then bobble, I think. So I had to just mentally swap the single with the bobble. so that I could keep in the pattern. So yeah, you may need to just keep that in mind when you're getting to the baubles. Depending on your tension and the way you crochet, your baubles may wind up needing to be adjusted by like a stitch. But that was the only one I had to move. All the others lined up just right. I think he turned out really cute. I think there was also a sunflower one for this. I want to say there's 3 of them. There's this one, a sunflower one, and then a daisy maybe with like longer petals. I like this petal. I'd done a bunch of daisies by this point, and I was just like, I like this little simple guy. I think he's really cute. So that's my patterns. Again, I will have all of these designers listed, their Instagram accounts listed in the comments below. Please, please, please go follow their accounts. Please go check them out. You won't be disappointed. They all have a ton of cute stuff on there. And like I said, even if what I tried wasn't your cup of tea, they may have something else that you'll really, really love, and you'll be doing yourself a disservice if you miss out on that. So that's what I have. I honestly, out of this stack of patterns, did not have one that I didn't love. The only one that I would say is that out of all of them, if you're market minded like I am, this is the only one that's not market friendly. But it's still so cute, and I love it, love it, love it, and I will keep it forever. So that's that for this video. I am glad I split these up, man, because this took a lot longer than I expected to. So coming up next, I've already been working on the birds. I have a birds category. There's fewer of them, so I think I may combine it maybe with frogs. So maybe we'll do frogs and birds, or maybe I'll combine it with the bugs and we'll do bugs and birds. So I've got birds, I've got frogs, I've got bugs, and other. But the other only has one in it, so it's going to be mashed in with one of the other categories. So maybe I'll do frogs and birds, and then I'll do bugs and other. I will think on it. So this video should be coming out first Friday of February. Third Friday of February's video should be the market recap. Or no, you know what? I think this is what I'll do. Third Friday will be the second in this series. I don't know if we'll do 3 or if I'll fit all the rest of it in the second video. And in between those, I'll give you a bonus little quick video doing a market recap of next week's market. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so glad that you were here with me, and have a great day.